So a lot of parents want their teens to be able to make their own decisions when they finally get their provisional license. A lot of parents don't want to have to worry and stress and be anxious about their teenagers making safe decisions when they're out driving alone. Some parents fear the day that their teenager finally drives off alone for the first time and they're not able to sit with them in the passenger seat and help them through certain situations and circumstances that arise when they're driving. Okay? And this fear, this anxiety and worry and stress can often lead to parents feeling quite helpless. They sit at home worrying, not knowing what to do. And in the learning phase, when the teenager's actually learning how to drive and how to navigate the roadway, a lot of parents don't know, or they're not sure about how to teach their teens to drive. There's no focus. They don't know what to focus on. They don't have any sort of roadmap, if you will, to follow. No structure to the drives. They're literally just getting in the car and going, okay, today we're going here. Today we're just going to go to this car park, or today we've just got to go down to the shops and get a few things, so let's just drive there. There's nothing specific that they're focusing on for each particular drive. Okay, and I'm not talking about how to control the vehicle. I'm talking about different ways to think, different things to be aware of, both before the drive and during the drive. Okay, so we're not talking about how to steer, how to indicate, how to brake, how to accelerate. I'm talking about hazard awareness, risk aversion, anticipating things, how you perceive different situations, what's likely to happen, what could happen, how do you expect yourself to react if this situation occurs, that type of thinking, okay? So in this video, I just wanted to touch on what a parent's and a teenager's life may look like without being able to think in this kind of way and have this kind of structure for practice drives, okay? And what it might be like if a parent and teenager especially aren't confident and don't trust themselves in making safe decisions when they're out driving alone. So I'll start with what the parent's life might look like if the teenager isn't confident in making safe decisions when they finally hit the road alone. So I've mentioned before that during the learning phase of a teenager's driving journey, a lot of parents are stressed and worried about the day that will finally come when their teenager drives off alone for the first time. The parents will worry about them being able to make safe decisions when they're out there alone. So without the teenager learning how to do this, and without implementing a framework and any sort of structure to lessons, that worry and that stress, that anxiety for the poor parent is going to continue throughout the teenager's driving journey. So each drive, each time the parent knows that the teenager's out driving, out and about with schoolmates, to and from work, a small drive or a short drive down to the shops or the servo to get a few things, a night out on the town with friends, that worry and that stress is going to continue. If the parent can't sleep at night worrying about their teenager when they're learning to drive, they're going to continue worrying about their teenager they're going to continue to worry about their teenager driving when they finally have their provisional license and when they're out alone. The worry's not going to reduce. If anything, it's going to increase because the parent isn't physically there to help the teenager make decisions. Okay, and if that trust and confidence isn't with it, if the parents don't have that trust and confidence in the teen to make decisions when they're out there driving alone, the worry and stress isn't going to go away. Okay. Often parents will experience physical symptoms as well. Okay, so they might get nervous, they might start sweating, get sweaty palms, they might not be able to think of anything else, the brain might feel a bit scattered. And this concern is warranted. Okay, so we don't want parents to continue to have this stress and this worry when their teenager finally drives off alone for the first time. We want parents to feel confident and be able to trust in their teen's ability to make safe decisions. Okay, so that's just a bit of a brief rundown of what parents might experience if they're not confident and they don't trust their teen to make safe decisions when they drive off alone for the first time. So that's why it's important to implement the decision-making framework and teach the teenagers how to make safe decisions when they're learning to drive through lessons and through practice drives. Okay. As for what a teenager's life might look like, if they're not confident and they don't trust themselves to make safe decisions out on the road when they're by themselves, okay, they'll be unsure. They might worry for themselves. They'll be hesitant. Okay, if they're not confident in making decisions themselves, they're going to second guess themselves in certain situations and circumstances, and that can lead to consequences. Okay, these consequences aren't just going to affect one or two people or one or two different things. There's things called second order consequences, third order consequences, and if teens aren't aware of these, then it might affect their decision making. Okay, decision making affects actions. Actions have consequences. Consequences have consequences. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so without this decision making framework that's implemented in the learning phase of the teenager's driving journey, the teenagers won't have the confidence. They won't trust their own ability to make safe decisions on their own. Especially if in the learning phase they're relying on their parents to help them, or any other driving instructors, that kind of thing. If they're relying on someone else to help them make decisions while they're learning to drive, and by the end of the time that the learning phase is finished and they've finally got their provisional license, if they can't make decisions on their own, how on earth are they going to navigate the road by themselves? It's hard enough for them to figure out how to safely control and drive a car, let alone make decisions that happen in an instant when they're out there on their own. Okay, so this might cause some teenagers some worry and angst. You might see a change in their behaviour. They might be short, they might get angry, they might not want to talk about it. It might be hard to get them to express how they're feeling, that kind of thing. Okay, but just imagine if your teenager was confident in their ability, not one, to control the car and to actually drive the car, but two, to be confident enough to say, you know what, if this happens, I'm confident in my ability to make a decision and make the right call. If this happens, I'm confident in my ability and my decisions to make sure I do the most appropriate or make the safest call possible. Okay? Imagine if they had the confidence to make safe decisions for themselves when they're driving. How would that make you feel? How do you think that would make your teenager feel? Think back to when you were a teenager. Imagine if you had the confidence in your ability and you knew how decision making worked and how beliefs and how things that you think affect your decision making. Imagine if you understood how all that worked. Imagine how you would feel getting into the car and driving off the first time you got your provisional license. Okay, so it's going to make a massive impact on your confidence. Okay, it's going to make a massive impact on whether you can stand up for yourself in certain situations, especially when you've got friends and peers giving you pressure. there's other forms of pressure within the car at the time or external to the car. Your teen's going to be faced with all these different situations and circumstances, and you want your teenager to be able to handle them without even second guessing themselves and having to think through it, which can take a long time. You want it to be instinctual. Okay, so I just thought I'd touch on that briefly in regards to what your life as a parent may continue to look like and what teenagers' life may continue to look like without this sort of training in decision making and the process behind it, because we think it's really important, not only because it will help you guys stop worrying about your teen making safe decisions when they're driving alone, but I think because the worry and the stress is actually warranted, given that the number one leading cause of death for teenagers worldwide is actually car crashes. So something needs to change, and that's been a statistic. That's been a fact for many years. So something needs to change. Your traditional driving lessons and driving education, that's all well and good, and 100% agree that needs to be taken into account and to be implemented, because without that, the statistics would probably look a lot worse than they do. But in saying that, something needs to change to try and reverse the way these statistics are going and slow them down. Okay? And that's why decision making is important. Okay? Decision making affects the actions we take. So if we can nail decision making, we can make the right decisions in the right moments, which cause the right actions to be taken. So I hope you got a bit out of this. If you want any more information on it, check out the links to the program in our bios, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.